Forget the hype, forget the theorising, and yes, everyone has a theory.
UKIP are learning from us.
Really?
Of course they are.
What have they picked up from you?
To be silly.
Thanks to this week's by-election, we've got some hard evidence in paper form that helps answer the question, how are UKIP doing? Turns out the answer is well, but not well enough to beat Labour.
I therefore declare that Mike Cain is duly elected. Thank you.
So UKIP have come second and they've increased their share of the vote really quite significantly. But their performance in this by-election isn't quite as good as the performance in some of the others in this parliament. Just don't suggest to them that their bandwagon has ground to a halt. John, a week ago on the Daily Politics you told me you were going to win. What happened?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I wanted to win.
Oh, my mistake. How are you feeling? Second place?
I feel great. I mean, this is a Labour stronghold. We always knew it was going to be a fight, particularly given that it was only a few days for us to campaign for the postal vote after Labour issued the writ. So they compressed the campaign. They were running scared of actually letting us have a long time to present our arguments.
UKIP's campaign in Wythenshawe didn't point to the right, but to the left, with leaflets that branded Labour as a party of millionaires who didn't care about the working class. It wasn't a winning strategy, but it did help them to beat the Tories, who focused on dog mess and potholes instead. Professional UKIP watcher Rob Ford from Manchester University thinks they could be on the right track. He's analysed the views of 5,000 UKIP voters for a new book, which could confound the received wisdom about the party.
The common media image of the typical UKIP voter is a sort of ruddy-faced golf club member from the southeast of England, very, very angry about the European Union, and probably a traditional Conservative voter. Now, many UKIP activists do resemble that stereotype to some extent. They do pick up a lot of activists from the Conservative Party, but the UKIP voters are very distinct to that. They're older, they're more working class, they're more likely to live in northern urban areas than sort of southern rural areas, and they're much more sort of anti-system than anti-EU.
You can give them money in a way.
And they're precisely the voters that the Tory MP David Mowat needs if he's to hold on to his narrow majority in the constituency just down the road. Do you have a UKIP strategy in your seat?
Well, the UKIP strategy, as you put it, in my seat, is to point out to people that if they want a referendum in 2017 on whether we're going to be in the EU or not, there's one way to get it, and that way to get it is for the Conservatives to form the next government and for me to be their MP.
So UKIP could almost accidentally destroy what they want, which is a say on Europe.
They could. I'm not sure it would be accidental. I mean, that people need to realise that if the day after the next general election Ed Miliband is the Prime Minister, there will be no referendum on the EU, and UKIP may have made their point, but they won't have got their referendum.
Over at UKIP's local HQ, it's tidying up time.
Hey, wide awake.
Not helping, Nigel?
I had major surgery on the 19th of November and I'm still as weak as a kid and I can barely lift a pint with my right hand. It's as serious as that. So the answer is, carry on chaps, you're all doing a very good job.
They'll be carrying on to the European elections in May, which will provide even more evidence of whether that UKIP bandwagon is powering on or if it's just parked.